Hey guys, Zach here and welcome to my top 10 PC adventure games to watch in 2014. Now, the adventure genre is looking pretty packed in 2014 with many releases and games in development. Point and clicks and story-driven games abound. Choosing a top 10 was tough, but if your favorite is missing, leave a comment and let us know what you're waiting for. Either way, there's no denying that these games are definitely worth keeping an eye on this year. First up, we've got Broken Age from Double Fine. This game is probably the game that resurrected the point-and-click adventure genre by Tim Schafer, whose last game was Grim Fandango. Originally titled the Double Fine Adventure, the game is split to two parts, but don't worry, buying the game gets you both. In the game, you focus on two characters, Vela and Shay, teenagers who are struggling to break free from the predestined future that was decided for them. Next up, we have The Walking Dead Season 2 by Telltale Games, an episodic graphic adventure game based on Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead comic book series. Season 1 has passed, so Season 2 is up next. You play from a third-person perspective, and this time the game cinematically follows the story of the small but capable Clementine. Exploration, puzzle-solving, choices to make, and timed responses keep the game exciting and captivating. Expect a potent mix of feels and scare. Then we have The Wolf Among Us by Telltale Games, an episodic graphic adventure based on Bill Willingham's Fables comic book series and serves as a prequel to the comics. Episode 1 has passed, so Episode 2 is up next. You take control of the protagonist Big B Wolf in a 1980s American city where fairy tale creatures have come to live and disguise themselves as humans. Big B is the sheriff of this town, so expect a lot of murder, intrigue, engaging dialogue, and big choices to make in this crime-solving fantasy adventure. Then we have Tales from the Borderlands, another Telltale Games production. Not much has been shown regarding this game, but we know it's taking the usual graphical style Telltale has been using, and the story follows a bunch of wannabe vault hunters. Gameplay probably won't be like the original game, and most likely have a lot more dialogue, puzzle solving, and decision making, but there will be shooting in some form according to Gearbox Software. Then we have Game of Thrones, another game from Telltale Games. In one of the most exciting pieces of news for adventure games this year, Game of Thrones, a Telltale Games series, has been announced for a 2014 release. Not much is known about it yet, but there's no doubt that Telltale will do Westeros justice. Big questions are, when will the game be set, what art style is it going to use, and can Telltale really handle the workload of working on so many games simultaneously? Next up, we have Murdered Sole Suspect by Airtight Games. LA Noire plus ghosts? Well, in this game you play a detective who just happens to be dead. Ronan O'Connor decides to put his afterlife to good use by solving his own murder. Searching for clues, deduction, help from the spirit world, and possession, useful tools for any detective. But is the game relying on a gimmick, or will it actually be a good criminal investigation experience? Better keep a good watch to see if it lives up to expectations. And then we got Dreamfall Chapters, The Longest Journey by Red Thread Games, a 3D point-and-click adventure puzzle game with an emphasis on character interaction, exploration, and puzzle solving. The game takes place in two parallel worlds, Stark, a dystopian cyberpunk future Earth, and Arcadia, its magical fantasy counterpart. Dreaming is a method to travel between Stark and Arcadia, and both worlds have an adversary that exploits dreams in some form. The name indicates more than one part to the game, so let's hope we get another amazing adventure series to get lost in. And next we got Armikrog by Pencil Test Studios. From the creators of Earthworm Jim and the spiritual successor to The Neverhood from 1996 comes a point-and-click adventure game with a rarely seen art direction, claymation. The game is about a space explorer who crash lands on a weird planet and finds himself locked up in a mysterious fortress called Armikrog. Watching the artist build the claymation sets is exciting enough to watch, but to have a full game is gonna be awesome. Then in a more historical direction, we've got 1979 Revolution by Ink Stories, a historical action-adventure thriller based on the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The game intends to put you right in the middle of the events, delivering a mature narrative experience using actual historical assets. The game is intended for multiple platforms, so let's hope they don't neglect the PC version too much. But either way, you can expect exploration of the city, stealth aspects, rioting, and decision-making. 1979 Revolution could be an absolutely amazing game, or it could fall flat, so be sure to watch it closely to see how it goes. And finally, we've got Valiant Hearts: The Great War by Ubisoft Montpellier, a puzzle adventure game with a comic book aesthetic inspired by actual letters from the First World War. The story revolves around 4 strangers who help a young German soldier find his love, but only if they survive the trenches. Just watching the trailer almost brings you to tears, so expect a game with a lot of heart and feels if you decide to follow this one. Now, most of these games should be releasing this year, but either way, you should keep yourselves in the loop to really know if you'll be buying these games or just watching the story unfold. Alright, that wraps up my top 10 PC adventure games to watch in 2014. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop me a like or share it with your friends. The support is always appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.